What's going on? We back with another one for y'all.
Yes, we sure are. What were we talking about today?
We are going to be talking about another piece from our healing journal, but we're going to keep it good. This is finding your purpose. What is your purpose in life? Especially after leaving the cult. Like, you got to figure out who you are in the first place before you even know where to go or what to do. So let's get into that.
Let's get into it.
Now, your purpose. We can kind of talk about how we found our purpose and give our own story. And this is not an overnight thing. First of all, you got to realize, like, dang, where do I even want to go? And it can be overwhelming because you have no end date on how long this is going to take or what answer you're going to come up with. So it's like you have a stack of books or a bunch of file cabinets to look through on everything within you. And we kind of left the cult and we just tried everything. That's what we will advise everybody to do. You don't know what you're good at or what you would love to do exactly. And something I did personally, I made a list. It was like 3 to 5 things that I love to do. That I would do for the rest of my life if I could. Right?
Paid or unpaid.
Yep, paid or unpaid. And on the list, I had like, I didn't even box myself like, oh, this won't work, this might not work. I just listed like, all right, I love music. I like YouTube. Like, I like watching interviews and stuff like that. Let's see. I like cutting hair. I like working out. And I forget what the 5th one was. It was just something random. And what I did, it's one by one, I tried each one. And I realized, like, I like cutting my hair, but I don't care to cut everybody else's hair. All right, check that off. And working out was something I did every day. So I started doing that, and I realized, dang, I could be a personal trainer. So I went to school, started doing personal training. And in the midst of that, I started doing YouTube videos. If you scroll down to our oldest videos, it's workout videos before we was doing any of this. And something else, and this is the thing, you realize what you're good at without even realizing it in the time. So little by little on that list, another one was motivating people. That's what that was.
That's what it was.
And so I didn't realize at the time I was doing one by one off the list. Like, dang, YouTube, okay. I'll do some workout videos, and I got burnt out that quick. So in the same time, I'm talking to my homie at work, and he like, bro, you funny, and you be saying this, you always saying some uplifting stuff. You should talk about that. And I'm like, man, I'll get around to it. I don't know when the time is. He was like, it could be time right now. So boom, started, and you can look at our oldest videos, had nothing to do with religion.
No.
At all. It was just random, just topics and information we had because we read a lot. And one day we seen the video, I forget the girl's name, but it was Why I Left Jehovah's Witnesses. And we like, let's do a video on why we left Jehovah's Witnesses because, you know, we used to do that. And that ended up getting over 50,000 views. And all our other videos were just like, every once in a while we'd just post a little something, get a couple hundred views. But that one was the one, and we didn't realize how many people it had an impact on. And so then we realized, like, dang, we got something with this YouTube thing, and we are helping people. We had no clue when we left this organization. We left in 2020. We didn't make videos until a couple years later. We doing other stuff. And so whenever we talk to people about finding a purpose, it's important to just write down what you're good at and just try them because it'll find itself. You just gotta look.
And remember, we are multifaceted people, so you can be good at multiple things at one time. This is just one thing that we, like to do is this is like our avenue of being able to motivate people and like have a community in this way. But like for me, for example, I've always been into kind of creative outlets. I like fashion, I like makeup, I like making people feel beautiful. For as long as I can remember, I do people's makeup just randomly, you know what I mean? So when we moved to Atlanta, I took a permanent eyebrow makeup class to tattoo people's eyebrows on. And just being able to explore all these avenues of yourself, I think is so important. It makes you more of a well-rounded individual, I think. And for me too, also, I love to travel. I like learning about people's cultures. Like, that's something I can do for the rest of my life. And that's kind of something that we prioritize, every year, is making sure to go out of the country because it's something that I love. It's like that's something that fuels me. Even as when I was a Jehovah's Witness, it was something that fueled me, because I would always say, okay, I'm gonna go and be a what's it called?
Pioneer, a child. It's like serving where the need is greater.
Yes, serving where the need is greater. That was always my thing. And it wasn't so much because I wanted to serve. It was because I wanted to go to different places.
Yeah, so now you were able to go somewhere without having to work as a Jehovah's Witness.
Right. Yep. So even on my Instagram page, you'll see random videos of like, you know, fashion outfits. And these are just like creative outlets that I have. Yep. It doesn't have to be, again, paid or unpaid. You know what I mean? And you have to explore yourself in all of these ways. And you too, you do the same thing on your TikTok. You know, you have different passions. He has a passion for, you know, Black history and knowing your Black history and things, and religion. Like, so I would say another thing to do is like go and take your personality type. There's a test online called like the 16 personality types or something like that. And it gives you a list of all these different personalities. And you like get asked a whole bunch of questions, and it tells you what kind of personality type you are. For me, I'm a innovative explorer or something like that, and a nurturer, which makes complete sense because I'm a nurse too. So like it makes sense for my personality type. I think you would be like the rebel, the innovator rebel or something. But anyway,
I can definitely see that.
Yeah. You know what too? You know what's funny is Tupac used to be one of those too, or the personality types. But
and that's the people I look up to, like the ones who go against society's agenda.
Yes, and that is very much you. So like knowing who you are at your core, you know, without anybody else looking, no judgment around, nothing, just you and taking the test, I think is a good way to like start. Yeah,
and another thing we want to point out is just because you are doing something today don't mean you will do it next year or down the line. I don't personal train no more. We work out together, but that's pretty much it. But that was part of the journey, and that's something to understand with finding your purpose. This step is here, then the next one is here, but you can't jump to this fifth step. You got to hit 1, 2, 3, 4. And you might go back to things, you know what I mean? Like, who knows, you might personal train in the future. Like, all these things are just parts of who it is that you are, and being able to, you know, explore each part of you. That's the truth.
I think another really good point to look at is like if you've been complimented about something multiple times in the past, over and over again, you keep hearing kind of the same things, definitely explore that. Like if somebody is telling you, like how people told you, like, oh, you're funny, you're this, you know, it just tap into it a little bit. Like it was the same thing with me, like, oh, you're really good at makeup, you should do this, you should do this, you know. And then finally like, okay, let me just do it, you know, because other people will tell you what you're good at before sometimes you even recognize it yourself. It may just be a hobby to you, but like it's looked at as a talent by other people.
Definitely. And sometimes we so caught up in our own head and ideas that we're not focused on a certain thing that we're good at. So we got, our mind is like this, and somebody else is not seeing this. They just seeing you focus or good at this one thing, and they're like, you good at that.
You're good at that.
And you're like, I am? Yes. Like, you good. And what, like you said, if you hear from this person and you go over here to somebody completely different and they go, you good at so-and-so. You go, man, I hear that before. It's a reason you keep hearing that. That is something that you are supposed to be doing on this journey of life, and you just not tapping into it. But also, it may not be time. It'll happen at the perfect time.
Or at the very least, it's something that you should, you know, look further into. Maybe you might have just a natural talent at doing something, but then if you dedicate your time to doing it, you'll become like the best at that thing. You know?
It's very important. And I always tell people, especially like if you work a day job, if you work 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, if you could dedicate that many hours to somebody else's dream, you owe yourself at least something out the day. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, at least 1 hour for something that you passionate about. You owe yourself that, because somebody else, they got their dream and you helping them with that, which is nothing wrong with that, but don't forget self.
That's so true. You know what? During this, I'm over here thinking like, man, I really love painting. Why did I stop? But yeah, it's those things that like you could just get lost in doing. And when I think about myself drawing or painting, like hours could go by and I just I don't even know about the time because it's just something that you get lost into. And everybody kind of has a passion or a talent, something like that, but you may not know what it is.
Yeah, and you have to ask, all right, what gives me satisfaction? I remember, it was Currency. He was like, you are able to be up for days in a row when you're working for self. But at work, he like, man, we ain't got the lunch yet. Then we here all day. He was like, yeah, because you on their time.
Yeah.
When you on your time, you could be up nonstop. You don't even realize, dang, I've been working all day doing this. Because it's something you're passionate about. It could be, if you're working on something at the house, building a deck or a patio. Man, you out there all day. You might not even eat yet because you so focused on your work. But let you be at work and not eat lunch. Man, I'm starving. I'm ready to go home. It's a difference. You have to put that towards self. So what can you do for a long time and not be like, man, I'm tired of doing this?
Yes. And if you're one of those people that are just like so lucky that you are already in a job or in a career field where you feel that way, then that's your passion. Like that's where you belong. You know what I mean? If that's how you feel about your work. And I think for me, sometimes it takes just a switch in my brain. Like, okay, I really like to be around people. I need to like change gears, but it's hard when you have like responsibilities over you, you know. But yeah, just taking that time to remember what it is that you like to do.
Think about when you were a kid, your imagination was this big as a kid, and society does this to it. It dims it takes away your creativity, your ideas, and you just, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just go do this. When you was a kid, man, you wanted to do everything. Man, I want to be a race car driver. I want to be this. And then society, all of that stuff, but society tell you, nah, you can't do that. And you go, I'll take your word for it. I can't do it. No, you can do it, because if other people are able to do it, it's doable.
Yeah, definitely.
Another step to finding your purpose. This is very important, and sometimes we do it in the wrong way, and it is set goals. And where people mess up, we'll use the weight loss journey, because I would get this all the time. I want to lose 100 pounds by July. Bruh, it's May 25th. Like, that's not realistic. You have to set realistic goals and break them down. We call it the brick a day. Every day, lay one brick. That's it. Next day, lay another brick. Next thing you know, if every day you lay a brick and a year go by, look how tall the wall is going to be.
I'm telling you.
But if you start from the beginning with build a wall, it's like, dang, man, that's, you in your mind, you thinking of this giant wall, how difficult it's going to be. No, just start with a brick a day. Start small. Set your goals into what's in arm's reach. Don't look at, oh, well, I can't do that yet. Start with what you got now. I remember talking to somebody about real estate, and I'm like, all right, you ready to buy a house today? Not quite. Well, do you know how to buy a house? No. Start with that. That's because right now the buying the property is not in hands reach. What's in hands reach? Well, I can learn. Okay, well, that's free. Study up on that, and next thing you know, you start looking at, well, I couldn't have got to this step without this one, because how was I going to buy it if I didn't know how to do? Okay, and look at all your goals is what's in arm's reach. I don't have a gym membership, or I can't afford it right now. Let me go for a walk. That's in arm's reach. It's free. I can go outside, move my legs.
Home workout.
That's it. Home workouts. I can stretch. That's in arm's reach, and that's how you have to do your goals. Break them down small, step by step, and then you start to notice, like, all right, I got this one done, and instead of me focus on the end goal, what's number 2? Okay, number 2 on my list. Now let me accomplish this. And next thing you know, you look back, you 5 goals ahead, and you're like, dang, I remember I was just getting started.
Yes.
Because
sorry.
I was just gonna say the time.
It's gonna pass by regardless.
Yeah, whether you see, we on the same frequency. The time is gonna do its thing. So whether you work hard for this next year, or whether you sit on the couch, the time will go by, and if you sit on the couch, you're like, dang, I could have been here.
It's gonna go by regardless. And I think even my personal story of even losing weight, it was the same. It took me 4 years to lose freaking 40 pounds, you know, where, okay, that's probably extreme. Like, people would really probably only lose that in 1 year, but it was slow for me, you know what I mean? And it's the same thing that you had to tell me. It's like, a brick a day. It's like these slow changes that happen over time that just become lifestyle. And it's the same thing with your goals for anything else, you know? You're going to start small, and then it just slowly builds up. And the time goes by quick.
Yeah.
It goes by so fast. I remember the first time we ventured out and wanting to even be content creators. It was like, okay, we want to be monetized and create content, you know? And us starting, it was like, oh, how are we gonna do this?
We need 1,000 subscribers. Dang, we only got 300.
Yes, I'm telling you. But you know, the discipline too, I think, is important, because we get that comment sometimes too, like, you guys post, like, you guys are dedicated to posting, you know, but it's just consistency, you know. We try to do 2 videos a week. That's usually our baseline. Boom, boom. And once you have the schedule in your head, you know when you're gonna do things, like.
And sometimes you have to be. I like to be what I call raw and uncut about discipline, because I hear a lot of people say, "I don't have the discipline," and I'll ask them this: you want a place to live? You want food? It's that important to you that you will go work all day when you're tired. Your alarm go off and you don't want to wake up, but you do it because what? That food, water, and shelter is that important to you.
Yeah.
Use that for everything else. If your goal is this, if it's that important to you, the discipline is going to come with it. You don't have to be forced to do it. And if you don't do it, it's because it's not that important to you. Yeah. That's the raw and uncut version of discipline. I would tell people that, man, I want to work out, but I just say, because you don't want to work out. It sounds rude to say, but no, it's the truth. If you want to do it, you are going to figure out what it takes and you're going to make it happen. Yeah. The same way with everything else in your life that you don't want to do, but the result is so important, you force yourself to do it. That's the key to discipline. How important is it to you?
Yeah. And I think too, enjoying the journey of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of trying to rush everything, like, and only thinking about the end goal, making sure to just like settle in your present time too, and enjoying wherever you're at that moment. Because the moment doesn't last very long. You look back and you're like, man, like, we were just there.
Yeah, the past, present, and future is the same thing. If you think about it in a nutshell, like right now, all you have is present. All you have is the present. The past is your imagination. You can't go back there. You can think about it. And the future is your imagination, because you got an idea, but it doesn't exist. The only thing that exists is now, because this will once be the past, something old, and this will also, what we're living in, this was the future at some point, but we just living in it. That's how you got to look at it. Enjoy where you at right now, and just whatever you have in arm's reach, work with it. Everything else will come when it's time.
I think another really big thing whenever you're thinking about your purpose is searching within, like, not necessarily relying on society standards of what it is that you're supposed to be, how it is that you're supposed to move, what it is you're supposed to be doing, and just kind of channeling what it is that, you know, lights a fire in you, like a passion in you. And usually those are the things that are kind of your purpose, because it makes you, it just like fills you up with, I don't know, a lot of fulfillment, you know, whenever you're doing this thing.
Yep. And like you said, search within, because 9 times out of 10, your purpose, it was in there the whole time, and you just wasn't paying attention to it.
Yeah.
You'll see people who are successful, and it's like, people always told me this, or I always had a passion for, and I just didn't until boom, or it wasn't until this moment. Like, for example, I think about one thing I always hated was giving talks.
Yeah.
I hated giving talks, but I think when I was in school, when we had to do like PowerPoint presentations,
you were naturally.
It was naturally, because a lot of times it was something we got to pick.
Yeah.
And I realized it's not that I don't like doing public speaking. I have to be passionate about what I'm talking about. Yes. And it's like, okay, I do like to teach and educate and talk to people, but it has to be what I'm good at. And it was there the whole time, but that light was dimmed because of a call. I'm getting up here talking about some stuff that don't make no sense that somebody else is telling me I gotta say. That wasn't it.
Yes, because they give you an outline. They're basically telling you what it is that you have to say, and it doesn't feel authentic.
No,
you know?
It's not.
But what feels the best all the time is whenever you can be yourself. I'm the same. I still get like that with like the public speaking and stuff. And then I realized, like, even in DC, that was one of the first times that I spoke publicly since, probably since I was a Jehovah's Witness. But anyway, even during that, I was so nervous to go up there. And then once I got up there, I was like, I know what I'm talking about. Like, just start talking. And then the note cards stopped playing apart. I was like, okay, I know what it is that I want to say. I know what it is that I want to convey. And I know more importantly who it is that I am. And I think that's where that comes from, is knowing who you are and then being able to just let that light come out.
That's true, because everything you stood up there and said came from in there.
Yeah.
From within. Yeah. It wasn't without somebody else is saying, go up there and say this and that.
You gotta use this scripture.
Yeah, it wasn't passionate. You didn't cook this formula up. Somebody else gave it to you. So yeah, that's what it's all about. And one of the most important things on this journey of finding your purpose is ignore negative thoughts. Ignore failure thoughts. And that's a lot from what's around you of being, oh, that ain't gonna work. Oh, what if this happened? Instead of what if this happened, what if it doesn't? It's the glass half empty, half full thing. If you are focused on the negative, you're gonna end up with negative. If you focus on failure, you're gonna fail. If you're telling yourself, what if it don't work? And a winner is just a loser who tried again. The moment you give up, that's when you fail, because you are not giving yourselves no more attempts to get it right. Even if it takes you 100 tries and you quit at 99, you a failure, because you're not even giving yourself that opportunity to do some more. Keep trying and take your own time. If this doesn't work, back to the drawing board. All right, let me try it again. All right, what can I learn from this? What was the phrase? This is happening for me and not to me. Yeah.
That's a good one right there.
That's how it goes. Yeah, that's just a little rant from our book and a little bit off the top. Because, we can go all day with this stuff. And that is from our Rebuilding from a Cult journal. You can find that down in the description. And let us know what y'all think in the comments. What are some of y'all's points for finding your purpose? If you found the purpose, how did you do it? Or if you are looking to find your purpose, what part of the journey are you at? It takes a team. It takes a village. Hit us in the comments on our Instagram at Awaken Truths IG. And we got our TikTok at Awaken Truths LLC.
And I also think it would be interesting if you guys leave, what are some of your guys' self-limiting beliefs? Because I think I think a lot of us have the same ones, especially leaving a religion and also in general. So, finding a way through those. Maybe we'll make that a video too. I think that would be good.
Yeah, that's a good one right there.
Okay. Anyways, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next one.
Peace.